Hi, and welcome back to Money Unmasked. All right, let's talk about the Baby Reindeer drama. Because while the show itself has won a ton of awards and started a massive global conversation, the real-life legal battle happening behind the scenes is, well, it's absolutely wild. This isn't just about a TV show anymore. It's a Sticks international legal fight that could change the rules for every based on a true story series you see from now on. So let's get right into it. The woman who the internet very quickly and very publicly identified as the real-life Martha, Fiona Harvey, is suing Netflix. And she's not suing for a small amount. We're talking about a lawsuit for $170 million. That's a staggering figure. Her claim is that the show, Baby Reindeer, defamed her on a massive scale. She says it falsely portrayed her as a twice-convicted stalker who had been sentenced to 5 years in prison. In the show, the character Martha is shown sending over 41,000 emails, hundreds of hours of voicemails, and harassing the main character, Donnie, and his family. Fiona Harvey's core argument is simple. Nope, didn't happen. She claims that Netflix presented these dramatic and allegedly false events as cold, hard facts. All while profiting immensely from a story she says has ruined her life. Now, where does this massive case actually stand right now? You might think a giant like Netflix could just make this go away, but that's not what's happening. A US judge has looked at the initial arguments and decided that, yes, this case has enough merit to go to trial. Netflix's legal team tried to get the lawsuit dismissed. They argued that the show is so clearly a work of fiction that no reasonable person would take it as a literal documentary. The judge didn't buy it, essentially saying that the show's opening line, "This is a true story," complicates things quite a bit. So, the trial is officially on the calendar. However, Netflix isn't just sitting back and waiting. They have immediately filed an appeal against the judge's decision to let the case proceed. So now we have this strange legal situation where two things are happening at the same time. Preparations for the trial are moving forward while a separate legal battle is being fought over whether the trial should even happen at all. It's a bit of legal chaos, with both sides digging in for a long and complicated fight. The trial date is currently set for May 6, 2025. Mark your calendars because this is going to be a big one. So, what is Netflix's main defense? How are they planning to fight a $170 million lawsuit? Their entire strategy boils down to 2 words. It's fiction. Their lawyers are arguing that Baby Reindeer is a dramatized story, a creative retelling of Richard Gadd's experiences. They re-adamant that it was never intended to be a documentary or a frame-by-frame recreation of real events. It's art, not a news report. They even pointed to specific creative choices in the show to back this up. For example, they argued that the quirky, often upbeat music and the highly stylized, almost surreal scenes should have been a dead giveaway to the audience that they were not watching a literal true crime exposé. Their point is that the show has a distinct artistic vibe that separates it from reality. They believe these elements make it clear that this is a character named Martha, not a biography of Fiona Harvey. But Fiona Harvey's side sees it very, very differently. Her legal team argues that Netflix can't have it both ways. They can't market the show with the powerful phrase, "This is a true story," and then turn around and claim it as just fiction when they get sued. Harvey says that line, combined with the show's raw emotional intensity, absolutely led viewers to believe they were watching the unvarnished truth. She claims the show didn't just imply it was true, it shouted it from the rooftops. As a result, she says her life has been completely destroyed. She's been doxxed, harassed, and has received death threats. She argues that Netflix made millions and won awards by painting her as a dangerous criminal to a global audience of over 60 million viewers. She denies everything. She says she never sent thousands of emails. She never stalked Richard Gadd in the way the show portrays. She has never been convicted of stalking, and she has certainly never been to prison. Her position is that Netflix built a hit show on a foundation of lies about her. The situation became even more intense when Fiona Harvey decided to tell her side of the story on a very public stage. She sat down for an interview with Piers Morgan, which, as you can imagine, went completely viral. In that interview, she once again denied all the major claims made in the show. She admitted to knowing Richard Gadd and sending a few emails. But she maintained that the obsessive criminal behavior depicted in Baby Reindeer was a complete fabrication. That interview was a massive moment. It added a whole new layer to the public conversation and made it clear that she was going to stay silent. It also meant that millions more people who hadn't even seen the show were now aware of the controversy and her passionate denials. And she's not fighting this battle alone. This isn't just one person against a streaming giant. Fiona Harvey has assembled a serious legal team. She is now represented by a major high-profile law firm in London, as well as experienced attorneys in the United States. This has turned into a coordinated global legal effort. The fact that she has such powerful legal representation shows just how seriously this case is being taken. We are talking about top-tier lawyers who are prepared to go head-to-head with Netflix's army of legal experts. This is no longer just a trending topic on social media. It's a heavyweight legal showdown with international implications. Beyond the legal and financial aspects, Fiona Harvey has also spoken about the severe personal toll this situation has taken on her health. In court documents and public statements, she's described the immense stress of becoming an overnight public figure in this way. She says the constant anxiety has worsened her pre-existing diabetes and that she's now developing background retinopathy, a condition affecting the eyes that can be linked to diabetes. She's also reported that she's struggling to sleep, eat, or even leave her home due to the fear of being recognized and harassed. This adds a very human and very serious dimension to the case. It's a reminder that behind the headlines and the nine-figure numbers, there's a real person who claims her health and well-being have been severely impacted. Now, what about the creator and star of the show, Richard Gadd? It's important to note that he is not personally being sued. The lawsuit is aimed directly at Netflix. However, he is obviously a central figure in this story. He has filed a statement in support of Netflix. In it, he reiterates that the show is based on his real-life experiences of being stalked, but he also emphasizes that it is a fictionalized account. He's walked a fine line, maintaining that the emotional truth of his trauma is real, while also supporting Netflix's position that the character of Martha and specific events were dramatized for creative purposes. His perspective is crucial, as the trial will likely dig deep into what he told Netflix and how the story was developed from his real-life experiences into the script we all saw on screen. So, what happens next? As we mentioned, the trial is set to begin on May 6, 2025, unless Netflix's appeal succeeds in getting it thrown out beforehand. This trial will be monumental. It will have to tackle two huge questions. First, did Netflix defame Fiona Harvey? Did they publish false statements that harmed her reputation? And second, even if the character's name was Martha, could a reasonable viewer still identify her as Fiona Harvey? This is a key point in defamation law. The outcome of this case could genuinely change how streaming platforms and production companies approach any show that is based on a true story. It could set a new precedent for how much they need to fictionalize a story to protect themselves and what disclaimers they need to use. Every streaming service, from Prime Video to Disney Plus, will be watching this case very, very closely. So that's the full breakdown of the Baby Reindeer legal drama. We've explained it without all the dense legal jargon, but with all the juicy and important facts. The battle lines are drawn, the stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome is anything but certain. It's a fascinating and complex case about art, truth, and responsibility in the age of streaming. If you want to get updates when the trial starts and follow along as this story develops, make sure you stick around and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay unmasked.